Welcome to the August 27th regular meeting. Under presentations, we have none this evening. Could I have a motion, please, to adopt the agenda as presented? Councillor Nibs, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Moore. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, could we have a motion, please, to accept the minutes of the council meeting held on August 13th, 2018? Thank you, Councillor. And I won't say Travis, Councillor Frank, seconded by Councillor Yanish. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under original communications, delegations, and petitions. We have a request from Estevan Arts Council for the adjudicated art show, November 2nd to 4th, for a rental request. The Arts Committee will be holding their third annual Ev Johnson Memorial Adjudicated Art Show, November 2nd to 4th, and they're asking us to be a sponsor for the art show, and also to allow them to waive the rental, us to waive the rental fee for the multi-purpose room. So what's the wish? Councillor Hoffer?
Thank you, Your Worship. I believe we did a similar contribution in kind last year, and I would be prepared to make a motion to waive the rent in recognition as the city being a sponsor for this art show.
Okay, thank you. Have we got a seconder? Councillor Nibs? Thank you. Any further comments? If not, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under original communications, delegations, and petitions, we have from the Firefighter Association a request for a special permit for their fall training symposium. We'll be looking at having up to 300 people in attendance for their symposium, and they're having a meet and greet on Friday night, October 26th, and they're asking for this permit so they can serve alcohol at the fire station. What's the wish of council? Councillor Hoffer?
Acceptance and approval, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Yanish, seconded. Any further comments, questions? If not, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Under written reports of committees this evening, we have none. Executive reports. We have the Economic Development Business Incentive Policy 2018-71 this evening, and we have Fitz, our Economic Development Officer, here to answer any questions we may have. So Fitz, please step forward, turn on the mic, and we'll open it to council if they have any questions. If you wanted to give a brief overview, please do so.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, councillors and colleagues. As instructed at the last council meeting in the closed session, I have prepared the business incentive program, which reflects all of the comments at the last closed council session. If you would permit me, though, Your Worship, in doing a final review of the document before today's meeting, I realized that there's one of the incentives which, from my standpoint, wasn't so clearly spelled out. And I would like to just ask council's permission to include a very small clause which I think would clarify and make this incentive much clearer. And I refer to page 3 of the incentives under incentive number 2, storefront/facade improvement. On the very far right column, which starts with the sentence, any commercial property located within the city of Estevan and which has undergone storefront/facade improvements. Right after the word improvements, I would like to include the phrase, including the paving of parking lots. Including the paving of parking lots. And that would, I believe, more accurately reflect the decision reached by council at the last closed session meeting. And to be consistent, on the very last page, which reflects the attachment, the conditions for the storefront improvement, under the subheading eligible improvements, I would wish to also include right under where it says entranceways, I would wish to also include the term parking lots also. So that would be included as the eligible improvements. And that's all. Hopefully the document accurately reflects council's instructions from last meeting, and so that's all from my side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fitz, for your work on this document. Any questions or comments from members of council? Go ahead, Councillor Broba.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think the addition to the parking lots in this is very good because parking lots and a lot of businesses could use some improvements, but it's also very costly to do so, so that might be a good thing. The other thing is, just to clarify, and I think I've read it a few times in here, but these applications would go to the ECDEV board, and the ECDEV board would approve all applications. They wouldn't come straight to council. We're giving approval that it would go to the ECDEV board for their discretion.
Excuse me, Councillor Broba. The ECDEV board would make the recommendations to council. Council would then decide whether to approve or not.
Okay, that's just what I want clarification on, because I'd read it a couple of times in
Yeah.
here, and the wording kind of, I wasn't sure if it final would come back here or would
Okay,
go to the
well,
board.
we can
so-
clarify if you like, Fitz, on that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, though you just
Okay.
did, so that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
I would recommend then that we do if no one else had any other discussion.
Okay, you'll make that motion. Thank you, Councillor Broba. Seconder? Okay, thank you. Councillor Nibs? All in favor? Carried? Thank you.
Just, Your Worship, just so that we can,
Sure, go ahead, Councillor Frank.
would you or Fitz be able to just kind of recap the three main things? I think this is a really impressive program that we're launching here, and I kind of really want to highlight it as
Sure.
three major things that we're going to be doing, or the two major things anyways, that we're going to be doing to support new business in our community, which is a desperate need now as we face a future where where two of our coal power, or coal generators might not survive. We want to really promote that we're going to be supporting business. So if we can highlight those, that'd be great.
Okay, would you like me to, Fitz, or did you want to go over these, or I can if you like?
It's up to you, Your Worship.
Okay, under incentives, any new business establishing and locating operations in the city of Estevan is entitled to a property tax levy exemption for a period of 3 years, 100% each year. Businesses operating in the 5 investment priority areas as identified by the ECDEV board: agri-value processing, greenhouse technology, geothermal and renewable energy, manufacturing, warehousing, are entitled to an additional 2 years of tax levy exemption at 100%. This exemption applies to permanent new buildings or facility development and is not applicable to building renovations, expansions, or taxes levied on lands. The applicant must be the registered owner of the property or someone authorized to act on behalf of the property owner. And then the other, any commercial property located within the city of Estevan which has undergone storefront facade improvements, including paving, may be granted a commercial property tax exemption equivalent to 25% of the cost of the improvement, or $15,000, or the lower of the two. The tax levy exemption will be applied starting the calendar year after the improvement has been completed and will be spread equally over the 3 years. And then the City of Estevan will partner with local community foundations, business enterprise centers, community futures development corporations, and any other relevant entity to identify and support business retention, expansion, and transition opportunities. To that end, the City of Estevan will support the establishment of a business incubator to provide business support and services to local businesses. And any further questions, I guess, could be directed to Fitz at the end of the meeting. If any of the media would like to ask further, please get a hold of Fitz, and I'm sure he'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, councillors.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, under executive reports, we have from the building official a building permit report for July 2018. Could we have a motion, please, to accept that as given? Thank you, Councillor Nibs, seconded by Councillor Moore. Any further questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, under introduction of bylaws this evening, we have none. Public hearings and reports, we have none this evening. Giving notice, we have none this evening. Motions from committee, we have none. Consideration of bylaws, we have none. Inquiries, Councillor Hoffert, please.
That was quick. Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to extend congratulations and appreciation to everyone involved in the Alice Cooper concert last night. City manager and your team did a great job preparing the venue. Managers and staff alike were working there and pulling off a great show. It's a really nice feather in our cap that we, a city our size, can attract the acts we do, in part because of the wonderful venue we have in Affinity Place, and in part because of the hard work of our staff and managers. And so, you know, whether Alice Cooper is exactly everyone's cup of tea, there's no denying he puts on a great show, and I've heard only resounding positive comments about the concert last night. So congratulations, and I think, although it'll be preliminary to know whether we're in a profit situation there, I think city manager, when I talked to you last night, we're confident that we're in the ballpark of breaking even to a slight profit, and that's really what we want, to provide that kind of entertainment and not cost the city a lot of money. So the next one, John Cougar Mellencamp, coming up in a little over a month, is sure to be as big or bigger success, and just a real, as I mentioned, a feather in our cap. The new promotion network that you've got created seems to be really paying dividends, and good job to all involved. Thank you. Okay,
thank you, Councillor Hoppert. And yes, it was a fantastic show, and hats off to all of our people that were involved. They really did do a tremendous job. Councillor Vroba.
Thank you, Your Worship. Actually, the Estevan Exhibition Association is hosting the 2018 rodeo this weekend. Also, the parade begins at 4 o'clock, so please come out and support that on Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the rodeo, I believe, starts immediately kind of following the parade. So please come out and support. And if you're interested in volunteering, I think they're still looking for some volunteers. Roberta DeRozier is someone you can contact. She's looking for volunteers. So support your community and come out and support the rodeo this weekend. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Vroba. Very important, and it's always a fantastic event. So thank you for that. And Councillor Hoffert, I know it's early stages, you're still working at it, but we're going to have a flyover in, somebody's phone is on, but we're going to have a flyover in commemoration of the statute of the airmen that have lost their lives in 1946. I might have the date wrong, but I think it's around that date. So I guess we'll just have everyone keep their ears on for that. It'll be an open house out at the airport.
Yes, it's something that we'll be in touch with the airport manager and Lester Heinzman, of course, to arrange for some kind of a day to be going on there. So stay tuned for details.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Yanish? Okay, thank you.
Just that
Go ahead, Councillor
United Way Telethon is coming up in only 6 short weeks, so just if anybody's interested in entertaining at United Way Telethon, please get in touch with our office.
And thank you, Councillor Frank, for all of the work that you do, and Councillor Vroba, and I think Roberta, you're still on there as well, right?
Yep.
And David Wilberg. Yes, we have an awesome team, and thank you all for the great work that you do there.
And one other one I'll throw out is the Humane Society has their duck derby coming up in a couple of weeks, so if you haven't got your tickets for that, make sure you do.
Absolutely. And do we have a few days left, Jeff, for the golf ball drop?
Yes, we'll still be selling tickets for that, Your Worship.
Okay, good, thank you. And also, Travis, I believe you have a car that for the foundation. Did you want to give that a plug?
You betcha, yeah. There's still tickets for sale for the Hospital Foundation Lottery, so make sure you go to our website or stop by the hospital where you can buy tickets in person.
Thank you. Councillor Nibbs?
Nothing, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Moore?
Nothing, Your Worship.
Thank you. Jeff, City Manager, anything you'd like to say?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to echo some of the sentiments. I know it was a long day for a lot of our staff over there, and they did a great job. Our new promoter was very fantastic. He worked with our staff, and it went about as smooth as I think it could possibly go for our first event with new promoters and new management there. So I'll echo that. And then just to speak to the Rotary Golf Ball Drop. So yes, please speak to any of the Rotarians in town. They're $5 tickets, and the golf ball drop will be done on September 15th, and proceeds are going to STARS and other local charities in Estevan and Weyburn. So.
Okay, thank you very much, City Manager. And we also want to thank all of the volunteers. I know, Councillor Hoffert, I think you were volunteering last night, and we couldn't put on an event like that without the volunteers. So thank you all so much for that. City Treasurer, did you have anything this evening? Nothing? Okay. City Clerk?
Nothing, Your Worship.
Okay, with that, do we have a motion to move into committee? Thank you. Councillor Yanish, seconded by Councillor Nibs. All in favor? Carried. Thank you so much and good evening. We stand closed.